Hey everyone, welcome back to English Time. I'm Emma, and today I want to tell you about a very special day in my life, a day when I had a job interview.
That sounds exciting, but maybe also a little stressful?
Yes, it was. I remember I woke up super early that day. My interview was at 9 in the morning, so I set my alarm for 6:30. I didn't sleep well the night before. I kept thinking about the interview.
I totally understand. That always happens to me before something important. What was the first thing you did when you got up?
First, I went to the bathroom, took a shower, and brushed my teeth. I always feel more awake after a shower. Then I got dressed. I had already picked out my clothes the night before. I wore black pants and a blue shirt, something simple but nice.
Smart. Choosing your clothes the day before saves time and stress in the morning. Did you have breakfast?
Yes, but just a small one. I had a piece of toast, some fruit, and tea. I didn't want to eat too much because I felt a little nervous. My stomach felt funny, you know?
Yeah, I get that feeling too. Did you check everything before you left the house?
Absolutely. I checked my bag at least 3 times. I made sure I had my printed CV, my phone, and a bottle of water. I also checked the address again, even though I had already looked at it the night before.
Better safe than sorry. How did you get to the interview?
I took the bus. I left home around 7:30 because I wanted to be early. The bus ride was about 25 minutes, so I had plenty of time.
That's good. Did you feel nervous on the way?
A little, yes. I tried to stay calm. I listened to some relaxing music and looked out the window. I also said some practice sentences in my head, like, "Hello, nice to meet you," and "Thank you for your time." That helped me feel more ready.
That's a great idea. Saying those small phrases in your mind can really help you feel prepared. Did you know what kind of questions they would ask?
Not exactly, but I had an idea. I thought they would ask things like, "Tell me about yourself," and "Why do you want this job?" So I practiced my answers the day before, and I tried to keep my English simple and clear.
Do you remember what you said when they asked you about yourself?
Yes, I said, "My name is Emma. I studied business, and I have 3 years of experience in customer service. I enjoy working with people and helping solve problems." That was it, short and easy to understand.
That's perfect. It's always better to speak slowly and clearly than to try and say something too complicated. What happened when you arrived at the company?
When I got there, I went to the front desk and said, "Hi, I'm here for a job interview at 9 o'clock. The woman at the desk smiled and told me to have a seat. I waited for about 10 minutes.
That must have felt like a long 10 minutes.
Oh, yes, it did. I was just sitting there, looking around, trying to stay calm. I took a deep breath and reminded myself, it's okay to be nervous. It means you care.
Exactly. And then?
Then the manager came to meet me. He smiled and said, "Hi, Emma, nice to meet you." I stood up, shook his hand, and said, "Nice to meet you too." And that's when the interview started.
Okay, so now you're in the interview room. What was it like?
It was a small office with a desk and 2 chairs, nothing fancy. The manager offered me a glass of water, and I said yes, thank you. I was a bit nervous, but I tried to smile and sit up straight.
That's a good tip. Posture and body language are important. Did the manager start with small talk or go straight to the questions?
He started with small talk. He asked, "Did you find the building okay?" and "How was your morning?" That helped me relax a little. I said, "Yes, everything was easy to find, thank you."
It's nice when they're friendly. What was the first real question he asked?
The first question was, "Can you tell me a little about yourself?" I had practiced that one, so I felt ready. I said, "Sure. My name is Emma. I studied business, and for the past 3 years, I worked in a customer service job. I like helping people and working in a team."
That's a great answer. Simple, clear, and professional. What came next?
Then he asked, "Why do you want this job?" That one was a little harder, but I said, "I think your company has a good reputation. I want to learn new skills and grow in my career. I also enjoy working with customers and solving problems."
Very nice. You gave a good reason and showed interest. What about harder questions? Did he ask anything tricky?
Yes, one question was, "What are your strengths and weaknesses?" That made me think. For strengths, I said, "I'm a good listener and I stay calm when there is a problem." For weaknesses, I said, "Sometimes I take too much time to check small details, but I'm learning to be faster."
That's a smart way to answer. You're honest, but also show that you're improving. Did he ask you any questions about your last job?
Yes, he asked, "Can you tell me about a time you helped a customer?" I gave a short story.
I said, one time a customer was upset because she received the wrong item. I listened to her, apologized, and helped send the correct item the same day. She was happy in the end.
That's a great example. Employers like when you share real situations like that. You showed that you care and that you solve problems.
Yes, and I kept my story short. I didn't use big words, but I tried to be clear and polite.
That's what matters. Did the manager take notes?
He did. He smiled a few times and wrote things down. That made me feel better. I thought, okay, maybe I'm doing well.
I think you were. So how long did the interview last?
Maybe 25 minutes. At the end, he said, "Do you have any questions for me?" I said, "Yes. Can you tell me more about the team I would work with?" He explained a bit, and I listened carefully.
Good move. Asking a question shows interest and confidence.
That's what I thought. I didn't want to say no and just leave. I wanted to show that I really care about the job.
That's exactly the right way to do it. Okay, so the interview is over now. What did you do next?
Well, after I asked my question, the manager smiled and said, "Thank you for coming, Emma. We'll contact you soon." I stood up, shook his hand, and said, "Thank you for your time. It was nice to meet you."
Very polite. Always a good idea to say thank you at the end.
Yes, I think that's really important. Even if you're nervous, just saying thank you and smiling makes a good impression. After that, I walked out of the building and took a deep breath. I felt like, wow, it's done.
I know that feeling. It's like a big weight is gone.
Exactly. I looked for a bench and sat down for a few minutes. I just wanted to relax and think about how everything went.
Did you feel like it went well?
Yes, mostly. I think I did okay. I remembered the things I practiced. Maybe I made a few small mistakes in my English, but I didn't panic. I just kept going.
That's the right attitude. Nobody speaks perfectly all the time, especially in a second language. The important thing is that you stayed calm and kept trying.
Yes, and I think the manager understood me. I spoke slowly and clearly. I didn't try to use big, difficult words, just the words I know well.
And that's what we always tell our listeners. Clear and simple is better than fast and confusing.
Right. After that, I went to a little cafe and got a coffee. I wanted to give myself a small reward. I even wrote a few notes in my phone about the interview, what questions they asked, what I said, and how I felt.
That's a great idea. So next time you'll be even more prepared.
Yes, and it helped me feel proud, too. Even if I didn't get the job, I knew I did my best. I showed up, I spoke English, and I stayed positive.
That's something to be really proud of. A job interview in a different language is not easy, but you did it.
Thanks, Jack. I think many people listening can do it too. It just takes a little practice and confidence.
Exactly. And every time you try, you get a little better. So, Emma, you had your coffee, wrote your notes. What happened next? Did you hear back from the company?
Yes, 2 days later, I got an email from them. I remember I saw the message on my phone and my heart started beating so fast.
Oh, wow. That moment is always full of emotions. What did the email say?
It said, "Dear Emma, thank you for coming to the interview. We are happy to offer you the job." I couldn't believe it. I read it twice to make sure I understood.
That's amazing. You must have felt so happy.
I was. I smiled so big and even said yes out loud. I was alone in my room, but I didn't care. I was proud. I worked hard, I prepared, I stayed calm, and it worked.
You really earned it. And this story is going to help so many people who are nervous about job interviews, especially in English.
I hope so. I know how scary it feels at first. But small steps help a lot, like practicing basic questions, choosing your clothes the night before, and arriving early.
And just being kind and confident, even if your English isn't perfect. Yes, exactly. You don't need big words or perfect grammar. You just need to show who you are and why you care about the job.
So, what's your advice for anyone getting ready for their first job interview in English?
I'd say practice simple answers out loud, speak slowly, and don't be afraid to pause and think. It's okay to ask someone to repeat a question. You are learning, and that's something to be proud of.
Beautifully said. And if you don't get the job the first time, don't give up. Every interview is practice, and every try helps you grow.
That's right. I didn't get every job I interviewed for, but I got better each time. And now I feel more confident in English and in myself.
And that's what matters most.
Thanks for listening to my story, everyone.
I hope it gives you courage and some useful tips, too.
And thank you for sharing, Emma. That was such a real and helpful story. If you're listening to this and you have an interview soon, good luck. We believe in you.
Yes, good luck. You've got this.
We'll see you in the next episode of English Time. Until then,
Keep learning and keep going.